Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're kicking off something really special. Think of this as your official mission briefing for our big project, Disaster Diaries. So, let's jump right in. So, let me start with a question for you. How do you actually tell a story of survival? I mean, is it just a boring list of facts and events? Or is it really about the feeling, the emotion, the lessons learned, and all those what-if moments? Well, this project is your chance to answer that question for yourself. So here it is, your mission, should you choose to accept it. You're going to explore the world of disasters and safety. Then, you're going to create and share a really compelling story about it. This is where you get to show off your English skills, both written and spoken. And just so you know, this is a solo mission. It's all you. That means you have complete creative freedom. This is your story, and you get to tell it your way. Okay, let's break this down. Part 1 of your mission is all about the poster. We're going to be using a template in Canva, which will be your canvas for building a powerful visual story. First things first, you got to pick a scenario. And look, we highly encourage you to use real-life experiences if you can. If you've ever been through something like a car accident, a fire, a bad storm, or even cyberbullying, using that reality will make your story incredibly authentic. But hey, if you'd rather not, that's totally cool. You can absolutely pick an imagined scenario, like a massive tsunami or even a nuclear blast. All right, every amazing story needs a killer title, right? So your first task on the poster is to come up with something creative, something that really grabs your audience's attention and makes them need to know more. You could go with something super dramatic like caught in the tsunami. Or maybe something a little more personal and mysterious, like The Day the Internet Turned Against Me. You see how those titles immediately set a very different tone. Next up is your introduction. This is where you set the scene. You're pulling your audience into that moment right before everything changed. The secret weapon here? Using time clauses. Phrases like while or as soon as to really build that atmosphere of what was happening. Just look at this example. While we were packing for the trip, see that? It instantly creates this sense of normal, everyday life, but it also gives you a little hint of danger. It tells us exactly what was going on right before things went wrong. Okay, now we're at the heart of the story, the event itself. This is your chance to describe the key moments of what happened. Your goal is to use really vivid details to make your reader feel like they are right there in the moment with you. Notice the detail here. Within minutes, filled with smoke, couldn't find the fire extinguisher. This isn't just saying there was a fire. No way. It's painting a picture of pure panic and urgency. That's the kind of impact you're aiming for. So, after all that action, it's time to reflect. This section is all about looking back and thinking, okay, how could this whole thing have been avoided or maybe just handled better? And your key tool for this part is going to be conditionals. Those if-then sentences to explore what could have been. For instance, if we had checked the evacuation routes earlier, this shows you're really thinking deeply about it, and it gives a valuable lesson. It's that classic moment of hindsight, but framed perfectly in a conditional sentence. Now, let's go a little deeper into the emotional side of things. This part is for sharing any regrets or wishes from the perspective of someone who actually lived through the event. You'll use wish clauses to really capture that feeling of wanting a different outcome. A simple sentence like, I wish we had installed a carbon monoxide detector, can be incredibly powerful. It adds this really human, relatable layer to your story. It's a moment of pure, honest regret that pretty much anyone can understand. And finally, you're going to turn your story into a lesson that can actually help other people. You'll finish your poster with 3 to 5 practical safety tips, and you're going to use conditionals again to explain exactly why these tips are so important. This is a perfect example. If you're near the coast and hear a warning, it's a super clear cause and effect statement that gives direct, life-saving advice. This is how your personal story becomes a public service. Pretty cool, right? All right, poster complete. Now it's time for part 2, the video blog. This is where you step out from behind the poster and bring your story to life on camera. This is going to be fun. Okay, listen up because these 3 keys are going to make your video blog amazing. Number 1, and this is a big one, do not read from a script. Please just speak naturally, like you're talking to a friend. 2, use your voice, use your facial expressions to show us the emotion. And 3, engage with the camera. Make eye contact, use your hands, use your body language to really make the viewer feel your story. And that leads to this key idea. Don't just speak the words, perform them. You're not just a narrator here, you're a storyteller, you're an actor. Make your audience truly believe you were there. Okay, so once your poster and your video are done, there's one last really crucial step: reviewing a partner's work. Now, this isn't about grading them. It's about engaging with their story, learning from it, and making a connection. So your review, which should be around 120 words, has 3 clear goals. First, show some empathy. Really connect with the feelings in the story. Second, express surprise. Show them what you learned or what stood out to you. And third, offer some helpful, constructive advice. Expressing empathy can be this simple and this powerful. Using a conditional sentence like, "If I had been in your shoes," immediately builds a bridge between you and the storyteller. It shows them you were really paying attention. Showing surprise is a fantastic way to get feedback. A comment like this tells your partner that their story actually taught you something new, that it had a real impact. That's an amazing thing to hear as a creator. And finally, giving advice. Framing it gently with "if I were you" makes it feel like a helpful suggestion from a friend, not a criticism. It adds real value and shows you were thinking about what they went through. So that's the entire mission, from start to finish. Now for the really practical stuff. Let's lock in the timeline so you know exactly when each part of this project is due. Okay, here are the dates you need to know. Stage 0 is due November 12th. Stages 1 and 2, that's your poster and your video blog, are both due on November 30th. The deadline for Stage 3, the review, will be confirmed a bit later, so just keep an eye out for that. Go ahead and mark your calendars. And that brings us to the end of our briefing. You have everything you need: the mission, the tools, the timeline. So now there's really only one question left to answer. What story will you tell? I honestly cannot wait to find out. Good luck, everyone!